for tonight. Let's see. Just waiting for it to come over here. Hi, Manuela, sweetheart. Hope you're all doing good. Whoops, sorry about that. Have everything in an awkward position for me. I need to get comfortable. 1 second. Give me 1 second and I'll answer you. I need to do something over here. And save. Bingo. Let's see. I need to check the volume. Okay, sounds good. I am just had to do something to keep my mind kind of busy, and there's had a really cool stitch pattern, and I was going to do a blanket, and then Panda said, well, why don't you do a poncho? So I am making a prototype to a poncho. That's what I'm making it. Let me scoot up because I'm going to move the camera and everything, so give me 1 second so we can scoot up and you can see better. There we go. And hi, Diana D, sweetheart. Just at a weird angle and it's not. It's conducive. There, I'm moving my charger. That's what that loud bang was. No, but it's a poncho. I'm making it with the Big Twist Menagerie. This colorway is called Flamingo. But it's a really cool stitch pattern that I came up with. I was going to do it in a blanket. Hi, Tracy. And yeah, I changed my mind. Well, he helped me change my mind to doing a poncho. So it's, I'm still working out the kinks because of course it's a prototype, but it starts with a shell stitch. Let me get my lights down a little bit better. There we go. Oh, come on. Nothing wants to work today. Ooh, I didn't want that. Let's tighten that back up. There we go. What is going on? There we go. Yeah, it starts with the shell stitch, then goes into the twist stitch, and then the smock, and then repeat that, the twist and smock. And I'm calling it so far the Sundance poncho. Oh, Diana D. Yeah, I'm using my phone because I'm using this arm thingy, and my iPad was just way too big for it. This is just too far away. I'm not liking how far away that is. I haven't. Oh my gosh. Yes. Hi, React Black, and hi, Lisa. Me. But I'm liking the way it's coming out. I needed something that was that I have to pay attention to because I've been dealing with back-to-back pain flare-ups, and they've just been messing with my mind. So I needed something that would make me concentrate, and this is doing it right now. Now my pain flare-ups are gone way down, but I still, it's not enough to where I can finish concentrating on my, oh, what do they call it? The Halloween trick-or-treat squares that I'm doing. Let me undo this because I was trying to create some tension and wrapping the yarn around my a knob on my one of my lights, and it's creating too much tension. There we go. Ha. Menagerie is a three weight. Like I have five of every colorway, and that's why I've been doing my prototypes in it. But like, well, I have five of almost every colorway, and then I have like 30 of the rosy maple moth, and then I have, or no, it was 20 of the rosy maple moth and 25 of the chameleon colorway. So five of each colorway. That's I was like, well, I can just do the prototypes with those. That'll give me an idea of what I'm doing. Yeah, Dianity, it's really not. It really messes with me. Like I can deal with a pain flare up. Don't get me wrong. You know, the back to back, but when I have a pain flare up going on in each leg, and like they were, the one that was going on in my right leg or left leg was the worst because it made it feel like I broke my tibia, and I know what that feels like because several, was it 2013 or 2012, one of those years I broke my right tibia. So, and it felt just like that, and I was like, oh my gosh, it was hurting pretty bad. So I couldn't concentrate. I had my pain stimulator up as far as I could handle it because you're not supposed to feel it. But I was almost at that point where not you're not supposed to feel the pain stimulator kicking in, but I was almost at that point where I could feel it. So, but nothing was working, and it was messing with me pretty bad. And with this, and then Panda helping me, we got through them, and now they're sort of on the downslide, and I'm up all hours of the day anyway. But right now I have to stay up a little bit more than I should because our 15-year-old dog is, our fur baby, she is on her way out. So I just got to stay up and keep her company and keep her comfortable. She's not in pain or anything, but you know, when you do the math, 15 years is 105. Hi, Vima. So she's on her way out, and I'm just got to keep her company. And you know, we can't move her to take her to the vet. She's not in any pain or anything. It's just, yeah, she's in her right mind. So going to the vet would just make her more nervous and everything. Whereas when we took Taz back in February to the vet with all the strokes he was having back to back, he wasn't in his right mind, so it didn't bother him, but her it is. So we don't want to put her in any more stress. So we just got her comfortable, and I've been staying up, dealing with my own mental health stuff and pain, and keeping an eye on her because I'm pretty sure by this weekend she's going to be crossing the bridge. Because yeah, I mean, she's 15. She's had a great life. So I'm just got to keep her company. I don't want her to be alone. Thank you, Manuela. And right now, I really don't want to be alone, so that's why I decided to go live and be with my friends. Well, thank you. But how are you? Oh, during this time, that's whenever, like when I'm in bad pain flare ups, I come up with some really, 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 really cool uh, blanket patterns. I've came up with 4 during this massive pain flare up. Um, but they won't be coming out until probably next year because I have got a lot to do. As soon as I get this Halloween blanket done, probably not for a while, Lisa. Uh, Losing Taz back in February, and then going to lose her here probably by the weekend. 2 in 1 year, and granted, both of them, one's old age, the other one is just he had. They don't understand it, but he had strokes galore. Well, hello, Kiata. And there was just nothing we could do about the strokes. Part of his problem too was he was pretty high strung. Like, oh my gosh, he had separation anxiety, you name it. But he was very high strung, and we think that kind of attributed to his strokes. High strung and very, very, very hyper. But in one night he had 9 strokes, and there was just no way, nothing to do. Oh my gosh, what is going on? Yeah, somewhat I kind of help because when you're pulling yarn out of a skein or whatever, it'll drag or whatever. Well, I use one of these 2 pound weights, and I feed the yarn underneath it like that, so it doesn't move. Um, and with some of the staticky yarn, like from Hirschner's, I'll wrap a uh, dryer sheet around this with a rubber band on each side, so that way it drags across the dryer sheet and stops the static. Little things you do to help yourself out. Well, thank you, Vima. Um, Sometime this week, maybe next week, I'm not 100%. Um, Let me fix this real quick. I'm sorry. There we go. Hi, Ricky, sweetheart. Um, but yeah, I've got next week. Like, I couldn't concentrate to do a stitch this week. There's just no way I could, not with all the pain flare ups going on. I've got the stitch for this week. It'll be filmed Saturday and out to the members, and then out to everybody else Monday. And it's kind of to it's a stitch that it's gonna go with the stitch that came out the week prior, the V stitch. You can put these 2 stitches together and you will love the look. So I'm teaching each stitch, and then I'll show you how when we put them together. It is very pretty. Like, I like this one, and I like parrotfish so far. Chameleon, sorry, Chameleon Stephanie is very pretty as well, worked up. But out of all of them, I mean, Rosie Maple Moth is pretty too, but I think it's too light to a point. But this one, I like the way this. It kind of reminds me of, like, when you go to a fair, or the cotton candies, like the pink cotton candy and the blue cotton candies. That's what it reminds me of. Or both Fruity Pebbles, one of the two. And then the parrotfish, I just like the blues and the kind of goldish color that's in parrotfish. And this yarn, I do like it a lot. I hope that Hirschner's ends up picking it up, because if Michaels picks it up, Michaels will just relabel it, because that's all Michaels has permission to do is carry the yarn but not the brand. They have to relabel it, because Big Twist wasn't. It was, yeah, it was exclusive only to Joann's, but they didn't own it. They were, I guess you could say, like leasing it. The actual yarn manufacturer in Turkey actually owns the name of Big Twist, so that's how Hirschner's got it now. Mary Maxim and Annie's Attic, they just, oh my gosh, they bought liquidation lots. So as soon as those, they're gone. Please, okay, good. So as soon as they're gone, they'll they won't have them on their site. Now Hobby is actually carrying Big Twist. If let me give me 1 second, and I will show you. Let me get my tablet, or not my tablet, my iPad yet. Okay. All right. Ooh, I need to wipe this thing down. I got fingerprints from when I was looking at my patterns. Oh well, everybody has fingerprints on stuff, right? But I'm gonna show y'all. Ooh, no, don't do. I don't know what the heck anything I just pressed. Come here, go away. I don't want my stitch. I need to go here. Search HOBBII. Bingo. All right, we're gonna look here. Well, who cares? Now they're crafting acrylic. It exactly what it is exactly Big Twist, just um, relabeled. And the only reason I can say that is because if you click on some of this colorway is called Coral, right? And then we go to the, where is it? That's definitely not it. I'm trying to find it. Oh my gosh. Because I know there's a name. There's only one of these names. Okay. We need a search. Varsity Orange. It looks like they're out of stock. But crafting acrylic, it is Big Twist. And because of the, like, this is Varsity Red. Big Twist actually owns the name, the copyrighted name for a yarn color called Varsity Orange. And it's just relabeled. Now it is a little bit pricier. Let's see. There's Varsity Blue. It is a little bit pricier and whatnot, but you know, it's normally $8, but right now it's $5. And but it is a Big Twist. And of course, yes, I am a huge Trekkie, because that's my screen. Ha 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 ha. And that's our temperature here. And we're under a flood watch. Let me put it back. But loops and Michaels is relabeling it. They're loops and threads, whatever they want to call it. But hi, Catherine. You worked up a cardigan in that yarn, and it is a dream to work it. Hi, Tony. Um, It is. I'm a big twist junkie. I've been using big twist for years, and I like it. It's especially when you're doing Tunisian because you're always holding it, you're holding the yarn, and if the yarn is rough here, it right, yeah, Ricky, tricky for life. Well, I have the pardon me, I'm gonna cough. It is so humid here, and we're technically a desert, but it's very humid here. Um, yeah, you're constantly holding, so the rougher yarns, you feel it, and it really does a number. And the way I like some people in Tunisian, they hold it down here and do everything this way. I can't. I never was able to just do that because, especially like if you're using the smock, I need to be able to hold it. So I always have my index finger, always on the yarn, moving it around. And if it's a rougher yarn, man, it really hurts. And good night, Diana. Okay, sweetheart, you sleep good. Sorry, I'm just trying to scoot. I don't have much room to scoot. Um, so big twist is yes, like the regular skeins of big twist. They can be a little bit splitty. However, I don't mind that so much. It's the softness I like. Some of these yarns are just a little too rough, and especially with doing Tunisian because I'm always touching it and it just gets too rough. And big twist is just soft. I like it, and I'm a big twist junkie. I've got 20 plus totes, 20 plus 27-gallon totes of big twist. Oh, really? Yeah. Well, React Black. That's a lot of people's. Uh, this having all these loops on your hook is a big turnoff for or intimidation factor for a lot of people doing Tunisian. They get intimidated by it when, and not only that, I mean, look how small this row is in compared to, a double crochet row. It's about two of these. And it, so you build up a lot slower and you're using more yarn. Tunisian is a yarn eater. It uses out of knitting crochet and, well, Tunisian is the yarn eater. But the reason why I love Tunisian is how solid it is. Like, I mean, just look at that. You cannot see my background at all. And, oh, let me find out what that is for you. Where is, give me 1 second. I have to go to my other mouse so I can go to one of my other monitors so I can pull up Nightbot because I don't remember the command to drop our links. And Manuelo, my birthday, it's it's in 19 days. All right, we're gonna. Uh, oh, I can't do that because I'm trying to think of a word that we can do this that won't get dropped to everything. Oh, thank you. Let's see, what can we do here? want something easy. Okay. No, 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 no. Alright, we'll just do that. If you want to drop your link, you can type in that word knit and it'll drop your. There we go. Yeah, it'll drop your link if you want to drop your link. Oh my goodness, I really need to get rid of this carpet in this room and go to the concrete because we have concrete underneath. But this was a spare bedroom and we kept the carpeting. Let's see. There you go. And grab each other up, we're here to help raise each other up and enjoy it, and just one big old community, regardless of who it is or what size we are. We're here to just be friends and get along and all that happy stuff. And that's good, Lisa. I'm glad y'all are doing good, and I'm glad you seem like you're doing a lot better now that you have really took your channel in the direction you really want it to be. And I'm happy for you, sweetheart. I really am. But yeah, go ahead, and if y'all have seen something that another channel's doing, let's talk about it. I don't I'm not one of those that will just say, "Oh, we're talking about me and only me," because Michael doesn't like. I'll tell you what we're going to be doing, and then if y'all want to talk about somebody else, let's talk about them. I'm not. I really don't like it when I'm the center of attention. I know that's weird, a YouTuber who doesn't like being the center of attention. But if you want to talk about whatever's going on somebody else's channel, let's talk about it, because good stuff. We don't do negativity here. You know, let's build bridges. Let's not burn them. All right, there we go. And this is the hard part for me too, is because of all the increasing, I have to keep a count of what I'm doing so I can switch it to the next. I do too. React Black. Me and Panda. I believe Panda actually sent him a message. No, let me check. I think I did. Um, where can I go that's not gonna mess something up? I think I sent him a message. Where? Yeah, I sent him a message like 5 weeks ago, seeing how he's doing, and I haven't heard anything. So I hope he's doing well. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, concrete, yeah. Golden glow. First, first, what you need to do is figure out how you want your channel to go. Are you wanting to do nothing but tutorials? Are you wanting to do nothing but live? And then once you figure out, okay, if you want to go, I can tell like tutorial route, because that's all I really do. I do the occasional lives. I like doing the lives because I mean, the community here is just awesome. But um, with tutorials, you need to figure out, okay, if you're going to do tutorials, what kind of tutorials are you wanting to do? And then on top of that, how do you want to structure your tutorials? How do you want to uh, how do you want them to flow? Like what I did before I started is looked at, oh my gosh, I hate this corner one because it always messes me up. It's a twisted stitch and it kind of it's irritating. Um, because when I pull it, it shrinks that back bar and I have to get ahead of it. But you need to, if you want to go the tutorial route, like I said, what I did before I started is I watched a lot of crochet tutorial channels. I wrote down what I liked and what I didn't like about their tutorials. And then I took what they liked and I narrowed it down even more to what do I want mine to be, and then structure yours off of that. Don't be don't sit there and say, well, everybody's done a double crochet or a single crochet tutorial. That's true. They have. However, you haven't done it. And like I've told other people, you may not be somebody's cup of may not be a lot of people's cup of tea, but you're somebody's, and they will learn. If you've got good editing skills, a good voice, or even it doesn't even have to be a good voice, just good instructions, you will go a long way. Uh, and keeping your hands in frame, that is going to be your hardest part to do, is keeping your hands in frame. But once you get that down, you know, everything will flow. And the other thing I always say is, like for me, like Tony Lipsy, T.O. Yarn Crafts, or uh, Donna Donna Wolf, Nastasia, they're not competition. You're like for Tunisian. My only competition is myself. You should always have one thing you see from your last video that you don't like and improve on it. And by time your videos are going to be to where you're not going to have any issues and everything's just going to flow and you're going to have everything perfect. I still keep improving mine slowly, and I've been at this for a year and a half and some change. And that's awesome, Manuela. And yes, and just be you. Do not be somebody else that puts on a face on camera and off camera you're a different person. Just be the same person. You know, there's no reason for cheesy gimmicks. Yes, cheesy gimmicks may help at times, but they also hurt you in the long run. And if you're yourself and you're genuine, you're gonna go a long way. Like me, I've always been a humble person, and I always will be. And I mean, these folks in chat have seen me tear up many times because of the generosity of this community. It's amazing. And without the community, I wouldn't be where I'm at. You know, and you're not going to get along with every other creator. Don't try. If somebody gives you a shout out, build that, take that shout out, that growth that comes with that shout out, plant it, grow it, and spread it. And do not going around burning bridges is not a good thing. There are some out there that do go around burning bridges and then play the victim. Just be yourself, and everything else will come. And growth is not going to happen overnight. It didn't for me. And just be yourself, be original. Don't steal other people's patterns. Even though you may be getting you could get it out of a magazine from 1970, even though the copyright's gone. That's still, in my opinion, stealing somebody else's work. And there are creators who do that. I'm not going to name names because you don't want that type of drama. Just be yourself, don't create drama, and, build those bridges, because those bridges help you and help the community. Exactly, Rat Black. It's a competition to have me tear up, Ricky. And Golden Claw, yes, it's going to be hard going to school and then doing videos, but there I haven't done it in a while, but you could also batch film. Have I want to say my first year, literally, I had all my first year's worth of tutorials pre-filmed. And hi, Teresa. So you can film all of them ahead of time, and if you got a weekend, you can get 5 or 6 tutorials done in one weekend. You don't have to come out with something every day. I come out with at least one tutorial a week, and I shoot for 1 or 2 item makes a month, depending on the type of item. If it's a blanket, it's going to be one a month. You know, um, and just do lives whenever you can, or shorts. Just it's not something you gotta really just pour yourself into, because you need to concentrate on school and on college. And trust me, I'm a 47, almost 48. I've done the whole college, I've done the military, I'm disabled, I'm retired, and I'm lucky to where I'm one of those creators that, because I don't work, I can do this all day long. But there's many of them that aren't lucky and still have to work, and they don't get to do this all day long like I can. I've got a very supportive spouse that allows me to, and it's just, you need to concentrate on school too. So even if you can, on a weekend when you don't have to study for something, do a couple tutorials if that's what you're wanting to do. Do a couple tutorials, have them pre-filmed, edited, and you can schedule them to come out whenever you want them to come out. Have them scheduled to come out once a week. Exactly what Ricky said. You know, just one foot in front of the other at your pace. Hi, Lori, sweetheart. And like for me, I don't. I mean, I know how to regular crochet. Don't get me wrong, but I know a heck of a lot more about Tunisian crochet. So that's why I stick with Tunisian crochet, because I know a lot about it, and I know a lot of stitches that a lot of people have never seen. And frankly, I just love Tunisian crochet. I really do. And as a male, and as a disabled veteran with PTSD, I want, and I want to show other males that, hey, or even people with mental, which is most of us in this world with mental health issues, that you know picking up a hook, a needle, or tufting, any of that is really beneficial for your mental health because it takes you out of this actual real world and puts you into something else, and it puts you into a great creative space, and it gets you off of from thinking of what's going on in the world that's putting stress on you, that's or whatever is giving you like the mental health issues. And it also takes your mind off pain. So that's, I love this, and I love this community. They're very supportive. There's been a few weeks, I say maybe 3 weeks total in the year and a half I've been doing this, that I haven't uploaded a tutorial, and the community is still stuck behind me, and they understand that I have a degenerative nerve pain condition, and they understand it, and trust me, this community is awesome. Um, it is just a prototype right now of a poncho, Tony. It, yeah, originally it was going to be a blanket because it was going to have more shell stitches in it, but because I came up with a pattern, because usually when I'm in a lot of pain is when I come up with my really 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 cool patterns, which is a lot of time. But um, this was going to be a blanket, and Panda saw it, and he's like, "I think that would look cool as a poncho." So I undid it and started a poncho. So that's what I'm doing. Uh, let's see. Yeah, in Vima, that's all it takes is, just when you can. You don't have to rush into it. You don't need to go live 7 days a week. You don't need to go, you know, people are like, you always got to play the algorithm. You always got to play the algorithm. The algorithm's going to play you or not. You know, it, and all that really boils down to is if your subscribers start watching you and showing the interaction with the video, that's what the algorithm looks for. The algorithm's not look. There's a lot that we don't know about the algorithm, but there's a few things we do know that the algorithm looks for. The algorithm does look for interaction, and people commenting and thumbing up the videos and watching more than 5 minutes of the video helps the algorithm, and that's all it takes. There's no reason to go live 7 days a week, and you know, and still put out tutorials. Yes, you're patting yourself with watch hours. I've got watch hours at the wazoo, and when I say at the wazoo, I'm close to 30,000 watch hours. So people watch your stuff, you're gonna get their watch hours and like nothing. And there's no reason to go live all the time. I like going live when I can because I like to chatting with you guys. You know, especially when I'm sitting here. What time is it? 4 in the morning. Cheryl, I was Navy as well. I was a hospital corpsman. I got out as a HM1. And watch hours are can be hard to get. You got to have that hook. You know, if it's not bringing you joy, don't don't do it. Like I love doing this. It brings me joy. Plus, I haven't worked in God knows how many years because of my legs, and So I kind of look at this like as a job in a way, but it's a job I enjoy, which, you know, you rarely ever find those. The last time I actually had a job I enjoyed was when I was a surgical nurse. I enjoyed the heck out of that. But, you know, I don't look at this. I mean, I treat it as a job to a point because it's given me a purpose. Before I started this, I had no purpose. It was just me just sitting here crocheting and just being me. And then when I started my channel, then it gave me a purpose. So it kind of gave me like a job. And I love it. And I'm glad I did it. I really am. Well, thank you, Tony. In it, yes, Lori, it is Flamingo Menagerie. Bingo. Ha. I've got only got like 5 of these. Like I said a little bit ago, only have out of all. I have like 20. Well, I had 20 of the rosy maple moth, 25 of the chameleon, but all the others only have 5 in. So I like to work prototypes up in these. Oh, Cheryl. Shipwreck. And, you know, I never in my wildest dream when I started, don't, if you're starting YouTube, never have the goal of getting that silver play button. The reason why I say that is because that's all you're chasing. I never had that goal. I truthfully didn't really want it. My goals from the get go have always been to teach Tunisian crochet. If I taught one person, then I did what I wanted to do. My second goal was to make enough to where I could have my spouse, Tony, Panda, whatever you want to call him, to be able to quit working because his back is getting worse and his stuff isn't service connected. So, you know, I wanted to be able to make enough to where he could quit working. And that was all my goal ever was, you know. And then when the silver play button happened, that, like I said, that was never a goal. I know for some creators it's a goal, and you know, I know some of them got mad because I got it before they did, and they've been at it for years, and or they put out more content, or they go live a heck of a lot more than I do. But it's quality, you know. I don't know. I just never chased it, and while it's cool to have it and have the special highlighted check mark name, that it's also kind of annoying. And I say that because when I like to go into new people's chats. How many skeins do you think it would take for your poncho? Tony, I don't know. I have 5. We'll see. I I've got that. Oh my gosh! I almost dropped everything. Let me move Bert. Um, that much. I don't know. Let me get my measuring tape. And if you want to drop your link, type the word knit, and it'll drop your channel link for you. We're roughly at 15 inches and I don't know how many wide. It's going to be kind of hard to tell. I'm just going to get an estimate. Estimating 28 inches wide. We have used, well, this is what I have out of the skein. Let's say I have a fourth of the skein left, so I may have enough. If I don't, it'll be a miniature poncho. I should. Um, 5, maybe it may just take 4. I mean, this stitch, which I really love because I like the rope effect on it. It is somewhat. It's not really a stitch eater, but it is a stitch eater or yarn eater. And this is the smock. None of these are. This is the yarn eater. This shell stitch is the yarn eater. And yes, Tony, it's yeah. I'm not gonna say nay. I don't like starting stuff, but some of them didn't like it that I did it. But it is what it is. Without some creators, I wouldn't be where I'm at. Bag a Day gave me my first shout out. Well, she gave me multiple shout outs. And, and then Mikey from the Crochet Crowd coming on my Christmas Live, which that's another thing I've been kind of bummed out about because, not Mikey, but the Christmas Live, but the way my pain syndrome is getting worse, I may not be able to do it anymore. I may not be able to do the Christmas Lives like I plan on doing. It's just things are getting with my pain syndrome just getting worse and worse. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it, and it's been kind of bumming me out big time because I enjoy that. And oh my gosh, I hate this corner stitch. So I need to this corner stitch. It's the increase stitch. When I go to twist it every time, just because of the way it lays out, it's kind of always it messes with me because it's just it tightens up big time because it's a full stitch for the increase and it's a loose stitch. There we go. Because full stitch is just going through the gap and pulling up a loop. But yeah, I may not be able to do the Christmas Live. I'm still have to play that by ear. And it is driving me nuts that I may not be able to do it. Last year's was awesome. But no, like with Mikey, coming on my live and being able to get Mikey out of his comfort zone, which is awesome. And then, Fiber Spider and Tiffany, all of them, it's just you build bridges. Just build the bridges, maintain your bridges, and grow the bridges. Sorry, technical question. What's up? Oh, no worries, Tony. You ask away. It's 7:20 p.m. on a Thursday night for me. Yeah, yeah. If we just hit, it's 4 p.m. or 4 a.m. here, 4:30 almost, and it's actually today's high is on, and we are. I mean, I'm in the Texas Panhandle, right? We're normally already 100 plus. Well, we're supposed to only be like 75 degrees today, Fahrenheit, and that's cold. We hadn't even hit, I think we've hit 95, and that's the highest we've gone. Normally, we've already hit 100, and we've been 100 for multiple days. That's not happening. We don't know. It's weird. The first 2 weeks of July, we were in the 70s, and it looks like the first week of August, we're going to be in the 70s. So it's like, this is not normal. Of course, your health comes first, which is, yes, Golden Claw. And Ricky, I do. Um, I that's why I didn't do a stitch this week. I couldn't concentrate filming. The stitch is easy. I can't say easy. It'd be a quick, easy filming to do. It's just I could not even concentrate to do the stitch uh, that I wanted to do. Now the pain is going down, and because literally, I in this room, my yarn room, studio, whatever you want to call it, is where I do. I'm in here all the time. You know, I have an ottoman. I kick my legs up, and I'm always. We don't have cable or satellite because we've really never watched anything on it. We've always watched apps, so we just stick to services like Peacock or Paramount or Netflix or HBO. That's what we have, and so I have a computer. I'm always sitting here, and I have huge, well, big monitors, and I'll just sit in here and we watch all the time. And plus, it's easier for me too that if I'm working something up, I can, and I need to write the pattern or whatever, I can look at it or write it up and whatnot. I do listen to my body a lot, and it's just sometimes with these pain flare ups that just come out of literally nowhere. Like I had the two going since because normally I try to film the stitch on Saturdays and get it and then edit it on Sunday and get it to the members Sunday, Saturday or Sunday, and then it gets released to everybody else on Monday. But the two, I was getting a flare up, and I had a flare up in both legs, and I just could not concentrate. That was a little over a week ago, and I had to make the decision that I couldn't concentrate to do the stitch tutorial, and so nothing's going to come out this week. And that was a hard decision to do, but I had to do it. And then the pain flare ups, because it's weird with the pain syndrome that I have. The pain, um, oh, that's awesome, Lisa. Um, the pain flare ups, because it's a nerve condition, CRPS, and there's another name for it which I'm not allowed to say on YouTube, and I understand why, because I was almost at that point. But with the nerve condition, you can feel you know how you had like the pins and needle pain or the burning pain or the cold or ice pick. It feels like some thing, all that type of stuff. Well, I can have all those type of pains going on at once, or I can just have one of them going on, and they make things feel a lot different. Like whenever for my right leg, when I'm about to start a flare up, so far it's been consistent to where it'll start in my big toe and make my big toe feel like it's broken. And I know how that feels because that's a big toe I broke back in 2018. And then it goes up my leg, and it stops around midway through my shin, and it cycles through the different pains. And sometimes in the same little area I'll have the pins and needles going on, and then it feels like on the other part of my leg like somebody's taking the nerve and yanking it out. And then on my left leg, it always starts in the arch of my foot. And that's how it all started this past week and or last week. And then um started spreading up the leg, which is how it always does. And I was like, okay, I can handle this. And then it decided, oh, we're gonna create a whole new pain. I'm like, uh-oh. And it made it feel like I broke my leg, my tibia. And I have a high pain tolerance, but there's a point when you can only take so much. and you just literally start bawling, and nothing pain medication works. And I was in tears for a few days, and the VA would do nothing because there's nothing they can really do. You know, they can't. The one thing that kind of helps, they can't prescribe. You know, because of the opioid epidemic. So I just kind of got to use my pain stimulator as much as I can and just go with it. So I do a lot of that proverbial sucking up of the pain. And that's cool that you found me through BOD, Ricky. I'm really really worried of what our winter's gonna be like because we've never had like we're wet this year. Normally for a year in where I live, we get maybe 20 inches of rain or moisture. Because I mean, technically we're a desert. Technically, we're not, Las Vegas desert, but technically we're a desert. And oh man, I split that. But and we normally get around 20. I think our average is around 23 inches of moisture a year. Well, here we are in July, at the end of July, and we've already hit that 23 inches of moisture mark. Just the other day, it rained so bad. Like we got, I think it was like 2.5 inches of rain in like a 3 hour period, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you live in a desert area, technical desert area, it is a lot. We're already past that, so I'm worried. Not that I'm worried because I don't go anywhere, but our winters is going to be. I'm probably going to be in a lot of pain this winter. I mean, yeah, I have metal knees. I can't show the picture because I am on. Wait, I can do this. I should have it, and I can show you. Give me 1 second of what my knees look like. Oh, what am I doing now? I can just click that and go to me. Go to the ooze. Excuse me. My photos. I gotta go all the way down. Nope, nope, nope. Where was it? Did I show my knees here? Aha. Open. Copy. We can go over here. Bingo. And then I can pull it up over here. And we can see what my knee looks like. But it's both my knees. So cold weather really does play a number with them. Oh, come on. Dude, I don't want no Siri. I just want you to unlock. So that's what both of my knees look like. And thank you, military. But yes. So the cold does hurt. So does the rain. So do all the changes in pressure. But that's what both of my knees look like. And like I said, yay, military. Oh, come on. Let's see. What am I missing over here? Golden glow. Yes, like for my condition, nothing. They have medications that work for a lot of people. I've taken them, and they do nothing for me. And there's people in this chat. Gabapentin works. It does nothing for me. Lyrica works. However, Lyrica did kind of help me, and I only took it for one day. I don't. I didn't like the effect that Lyrica put me under. It made me feel like a zombie. It I didn't feel myself, and I did not like that. And so I told my pain doc, I can't take this. I refused to take this because I felt like a zombie. I felt like I wasn't me, and I couldn't do it. My spinal cord stimulator helps to a point. I can only turn it up so high. Let's see. I live where it's tons of snow belt of Lake Erie. I am blessed, for my neighbors comes over with a tractor to clear snow. That's awesome, Tony. I mean, like, we get snow, right? We do. Some years, we get maybe a few inches of snow. Some years we get bad blizzards. Like, we'll get a snow dumping of, heck, I'd say a couple of years ago was the last bad, we're due for one. Last bad blizzard, and within a 24-hour period, we had 3.5 inches, 3.5 feet, not inches, 3.5 feet of snow. Granted, the very next day, a lot of it was melted because we warmed right back up. But we get them. We've had the occasional May snowstorm, which is weird for the Texas Panhandle, but we get them. Not as often as you. I mean, we don't like our city and our state, Texas. They don't invest in snow plows because really, when do we use them? That'd be a waste of money. So whenever it does snow, literally the garbage trucks, the city dump trucks, they just attach plows to them and they just plow everything into the center of the road because our roads kind of bow in the center, and they'll pile it in the center so it melts out and goes into the drainage ditches. Lisa, my favorite yarn, of course, you know it, girl. Anything Big Twist. Um, the out of the body feeling, opioids, and that's what I have to take. See, opioids, like, for me, the one that actually kind of really helps my nerve pain, and when I say help, it takes the edge off, is hydrocodone. Like, before uh, Trump did his opiate epidemic and restricted a lot of opioids to pretty much, I mean, almost everybody who needed them. It hurt people who need them. I'm being truthful with that, not showing political anything, but it really hurt people who need them. Anyway, I was getting six. Well, VA was sending me 90 a month, and then I always had extra because I would not take it how they told me to. They told me to take it 3 times a day, hydrocodone 10, 3 times a day, and they're uppers to me. They make me hyper and not sleep. So I cut them in half, and I would take half when I woke up, and the other half by around 3 p.m. or so. So by the time it was bedtime, it was wearing off, and I could still sleep and still have some uh, pain relief, and then wake up and repeat. So I always had extra. So I called the VA, and I voluntarily told them, hey, cut me down from 90 a month to 60. And then, of course, that all issue happened, and they're like, oh, you're addicted, which I even told them, like, look, if I was addicted, you know darn well 60 wouldn't last me a month, much less a week. But whatever, it hurt a lot of people who really need it. So the only way the VA gives them now, or at least my local VA, is if you have cancer or if you have surgery, and with the surgery aspect, you only get them for 5 days, and it's just like you're really hurting people, and not only you're hurting people now, people aren't getting their pain relief, So they're resorting to other things. Alcoholism has really, really gone up big time in the my local VA. So has hard drug use, and I've tried the leafy stuff. It helps. Don't get me wrong, but I don't like the not in control feeling. I can't do it. Yeah, Tony. Like restrictions hurt people that truly need it. Exactly, Ricky. Yeah, Lori, it really is. Um, uh, the thing that's been helping me, and it's over the counter, um, it's kratom. I just gotta, you got, and kratom is natural. It's tea leaf. It may be illegal in your country, state, or even countries, but here in Texas, it's still legal. Uh, it, it's literally just really, it's a tea leaf, and that acts like an opioid. And so I can take that when the pain gets to that unbearable point. I don't like taking them just because I don't like taking stuff that I know my body can get used to, and then you got to increase more, and then you're spending more. No, so um, I get it in like a tablet pill form, and then I cut those in four so they last longer. But like I said, I have a high pain tolerance, so I can deal with it a lot longer than most people. So let's see here. Uh, Kratom. Um, Kratom. Tony. They come in. You can get them two ways. You can get them into like a gel cap where the tea leaf is in there. Did I do that right? Yeah. Or you can get them in a tablet form where they just it's extract hardened. That's really all it is. And for me, they still act like an opioid, and it's natural. My Before I start taking it, I talked to my cardiologist, and he goes, it's healthier than an opioid, and you just gotta be you got just like anything, you can get addicted to them. So I don't take them all that often, only when it gets too unbearable. And here's that darn increased stitch that I gotta. Don't know why I decided to do the increased stitch. Okay, there we go. It's only when I have to do it as a twisted stitch. Now I need to count because I could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, one more row, and then I got to switch it to smock. Yeah, the Amish may use them too because it is natural. Uh, and, 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 and Ricky, yeah, that it is classed as a narcotic in most of the states here too that make it illegal. But then there's some states that don't. They just regulate it. But I'm gonna step away for just a moment. I've been drinking a lot of water, so I will be printing something. So I'll be right back. Alright, sorry about that. Thank you all for waiting. But, yeah, I've just been drinking a lot of water. I always drink a lot of water. That big black cup that I always have in my lives, that's full of water. Ice water. I don't drink as much as Panda. That dude drinks a mess ton. Hi, Darth Mom. Thank you. Oh, let me scoot up a little bit more. There we go. But yeah, this is just a prototype. I mean, I'm probably going to take out the shell stitch because I don't know, I'm not really liking, because it bunches up, it creates a little wavy action, and I'm not feeling it in this. I don't know. But that's what prototypes are for, right? Good night, Golden Glow. Let's see. I love Next Door and Next Let me help. Oh, I gotta scroll up. Where's the mails? Oh, wow, React Black. Yeah, I mean, you gotta ask your doctor about it. If you want to use Kratom, ask your doctor. I did, and you know, take it in small doses and see if you're gonna have a reaction to it. If you don't have a reaction to it, but I didn't mean to take the mouse and scroll back down. Sorry. But, yeah, I don't know how long I'm going to be. I mean, I'm going to be on here for a little bit longer. I just like hanging out with you all and just chatting. Panda's is in there sleep. He's got to work at. He's got to be at work in. Well, it's 4:50. He's got to be at work at 8. So he's in there sleeping. He was off today. And when I woke up, my legs were okay. So I was like, well, I need to go to the store. I got to mail out some packages. I finally mailed out crochet guy Rob's blanket he won on Michi's Potiversary several months ago. I just haven't been able to mail it out because of my legs. And then I mailed out Bonnie's Corner on a members live on Saturday. She won the prototype to Bee's Knees, which I'm going to be doing that here in the next few weeks. Because I got come Saturday, I'm filming the stitch, and then I got to get to busting out the remaining 30 squares for the Halloween trick-or-treat blanket, and get those together and film them, because I'm going to have them come out. I think it's going to be 5 separate videos of 5 weeks because of the different graphic Anish squares. Otherwise that would be one long video, and I don't really like long videos. So kind of like a impromptu crochet along in a way, but make it easy for people to actually follow along and whatever and all that stuff. And then during that time it'll allow me to get Bee's Knees done because I had the yarn for it. Which is right here. Rena, sorry if it's loud. Lena made it for me. It's a 12 ply. It's a size 2, 1200 yards. I've got it where light yellow to dark yellow, and then the other one where it's dark yellow to light yellow. So I'll be using that. And then Dee's Creative Hands dyed me some cotton yarn. I was looking for a certain orange, but I didn't want a complete orange, you know, because the idea I have in my head, it's a, what is it? It's a trick or treat bag. It's going to be looking like a kind of like a jack-o'-lantern, and you know, pumpkins aren't uniformly the same color. So I had her dye me some orange cotton that's not uniformed, which it came out exactly like I had in my head. I've got 4 hanks, which is going to be way plenty for what I have in my head. And then I've got the glow in the dark for the jack-o'-lantern part. I'm going to do that during that 5 weeks that the blanket's dropping, because this coming Friday, a week from tomorrow, the Bat Boo scarf will be coming out, and then 5 weeks of the trick or treat blanket, then that'll come out. I'm gonna see if I have time to do a hat. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to have time because I want to start getting on my Christmas stuff, because there's a holiday jamboree blanket that I cannot wait to get started. And it's a Tunisian in the round squares. All I have to do is just film one, because then you just make multiples and you know you sew them together. But the idea I've never seen before, because, and I know it's not been done before because it's with the stitch I invented. So I know the idea hasn't been done before. Okay, Lisa, have a good day. Good night. Yeah, Cheryl, the boo scarf and then the jack-o'-lantern, I still have to make, or the boo scarf, or I can't talk. The ghost and the jack-o'-lantern are the two that I've gotten done. I still need to do the skull, the word boo, and the bat. They'll The one that'll slow me down is going to be the skull, but I only got to do 10 of each, and then count time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. I'm trying to keep them at 10 each interval. The skull is the one that's going to slow me down and take a little bit of time to do, but the bat, the word boo, and that's the thing. I'm like also driving myself kind of crazy on it about the word boo, because I like to do left and right hand, but I can't flip the word boo otherwise for left-handed, because then it's backwards, and I don't want to. I may have to just film 2 different ones, just do the letters backwards, so that way it shows up for left hand when I flip it. Just do 2. So I'll have to figure that out. But it's not going to take long, and I did them the way I did them because I kind of wanted a granny square feel to them without being a granny square. So when they get stitched together, I want them to have that granny square feel, that's another thing I done during this little pain period, is I figured out how to do a Tunisian granny stitch that looks just like the granny square stitch or granny stitch in crochet. And I'm probably going to use that stitch for my keyhole scarf. Not 100% positive on that yet. Hi, Sarah. How are you doing? And then, of course, I got the holiday jamboree, and then I'm going to be doing, which is the blanket for Christmas. Um, and during this whole entire time, I'm going to be designing and filming the 52-week crochet along starting in for January. Get it? It's just going to be fun. It's going to be. Let me get my paper. I mean, I don't have it sketched out. I know what I want. Oh, come here. Let me go to the very last page so that way I know I'm not messing anything up. I need my pencil. Where's my pencil? There it is. But, like, you know, it's going to be 51 total different types of stitches. And then the 52nd stitch will be the joining stitch, which is going to go for the idea, which is going to play freaking perfectly to the idea that I want. But, we'll do a square one day on with one stitch, and then the next we may come out with where we do an L, and then we may do a right angle. Well, if I can go down more, and everything's just going to fit together. It's going to be like a patchwork kind of thing, and then we're going to use the zigzag join when we get ready to join them together, because that'll give it, in what I'm thinking, it'll give it like a stitched look, and it'll go with the idea that I have in my head about those blankets in the cartoons when you see the hobo or the homeless person in the train car with those patchwork blankets and how they're stitched together and stuff. That's what the idea I'm going for, and just using scrap yarn for it. Don't go out your way to buy yarn for it. Just use your scrap yarn. And I think it because all the crochet along or sampler blankets I've ever seen have only had like maybe 12 or so stitches in it. Well, I want to maximize it, but also make it whimsical and fun and something to look forward to completing. And that you're also learning because you're doing the stitch. I don't know. That's just what I think. And I love the way you teach. Well, thank you, Sarah. Hi, Fuzzy Butt. I love that. I don't know why I always love saying that. What? Yeah, Fuzzy. I'm kind of having to stay up. We've got our 15-year-old pup, our fur baby's on her way out, so I'm staying up to keep her company and also to see when it happens, so I can be with her. Yeah, Cheryl, right? And telling her, oh, I want to do that. It's going to be fun. It's called the busybody because it's going to be busy. Just use your scrap yarns, and I've got, a mess ton of leftover yarn that I've been wanting to figure out what I can do with it. And Panda mentioned something like that, and I was like, oh my gosh, that would be perfect, you know. Diana, it's a prototype for a poncho. I working to see if it's going to work and what I have to change. Or I'm probably going to take out the shell stitch in here, and I'm not liking this big shell stitch. I'm just not liking it because since the way it bunches up, it makes it bunch up. So I don't really. I may be taking that out and putting knit stitches there so we could have some raised aspect to it. But the twisted stitch and the smock stitch I really love together. So that's just what I'm working up, is just a prototype to see if things are going to work. I mean, all my prototypes have worked so far, so I'm just not feeling, and they always change too, of course, from prototype to pattern. I'm not liking the shell stitch in it. I may change that. Well, thank you, Tony and Fuzzy, and hi, Helena. Hello, like that. I can't talk. It really is, and like I do like the smock stitch. I mean, I used it in Ireland, in my Ireland blanket, because I think the way I paired it with the the knits, it worked out really well. And there's another blanket that I designed during this pain period that is going to take the smock into a different direction than I've ever seen used. And I've already named that blanket too. I mean, I designed four, but that one's the only one out of the four that I've actually named because it screamed at me what it wanted to be called. Let me see if I can pull it up and give you an idea. Oh yeah, Andy's channel. I'm gonna see if I can pull. Okay, come here. We need to go off of you. Actually, I need to open that back up. Give me one moment, and I'm gonna pull up. Some of the like, I don't want to pull that up there. I need to go to my. I will, like, there it is. I'll do in stitch fiddle before I actually turn it into a written pattern, but you can kind of see what it's going to turn out to be in a way. It gives you an idea, and um, it's called Crossroads. So it's taking the smock and doing something with it that I have never seen done before. I just got to do some adjustments to it, and then I can convert it over into uh, Adobe so I can uh, get it written, do it my way. I use Stitch Fiddle when I'm just fiddling around with stuff to see, because stitch placements like that give you an idea, overall view idea of what it's going to look like. And then I take it over what I've come up with, and then I build it all in Adobe Illustrator. And oh, okay, Ricky, be safe, sweetheart. Yeah, like, I don't know, some of my names just pop in my head, and that's what I go with. And then there's also, you know, you guys have named some things. This pattern so far, I don't know why. Like when I came up with it, Sundance came to my head, and that's what I'm naming it. But between still everything I'm filming for the holidays, I still have to film. Well, the crochet along that starts next year, the whole year's, and then I've got to. I don't know how I'm gonna fit it in, but I've got another baby blanket and I want to film. I don't have an idea of. I know how. I mean, I've got the idea of what it is, but I don't have an idea of a name yet, so I can't tell you a name. And then somehow I need to fit in my Tunisian Apache tears in there somehow, and then I've got illusions that I started halfway and it's like half done. Oh my gosh, I got so much to do. I'm always busy. But the way I look at it, like Panda's like, he always tells me, you got so much going on. You got, because I use those, I don't know what they're called, but they're the inserts that go into the cubes, the little square box things. I have several, I will have like 8 of those. And I use those as project boxes. So, and he's like, you got so many project boxes laying around. I'm like, yeah, and you're starting something else. I'm like, yeah, so when you gonna finish the other stuff? I don't know, because I had to scrap my Seaside Breeze beach cover up because, ooh, I don't know, I was on something. Literally, I was on some pharmaceutical meds that the VA gave me, and Michael's measurements were way the heck off. It wouldn't cover up a baby. I don't know what I was thinking. Big Twist was a Joanne brand yarn. Can't get this type of Big Twist anymore. Actually, Fuzzy Butt, you can get Big Twist. Big Twist was just exclusive to Joann's. It wasn't Joann's brand, uh, yarn wise anyway, because it was Big Twist before it went to Joann's. Big Twist is actually owned by the yarn manufacturer, which is the exact same brand. Hirschner's is carrying the Value, Pound Plus, Twinkle, and Supernova, and I'm praying that they can get the rights to more. What Michaels has the rights to do is carry the yarn, but they have to relabel it. It's all that legal loophole stuff. So yeah, it's you can get it at Hirschner's, and I mean it is exactly literally it's all the exact same. And if you don't can't find it at Hirschner's because they're either out, the crafting acrylic at Hobby is exactly the exact same stuff. They just have to relabel it. That's all. But it's also more because Hobby, whatever you want to call them, are expensive peoples. And did I? Okay, that just looks weird, but that's right. Is it right? Hold on 1 second. Sorry. Michael needs to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, that was right. There's 10, and then we twist. Okay. Oh, the one. Yeah, I don't. Oh, I wish. I don't know who's gonna carry it. Um, I really do because I like some of these colorways. There are a few that I'm not a. This menagerie that I'm not a fan of. Um, but they need to figure out who's gonna carry the menagerie. Is it gonna be Michael's just relabeled under their loops and threads? Same with the Vortex. I have all the color. I have like, I think I have 20 of each colorway of the Vortex. But they need to figure out who's going to carry that one too, and if they're going to relabel it, because I know a lot of people missed out on the Vortex. The only reason I have so many is because that's what they sent me. I got all that stuff at the beginning of the Vortex at the beginning of the year, and I was like, what is all this? I did, of course, that's before anybody knew what was happening. And normally, whenever they would send me stuff, they never sent me so much of it. And that's when I don't want to say I knew something was going on, but I had an inkling something was going on because they never sent me. If they sent me colorways, they would normally send me like 4 of each, but never 20 of each. And I'm like, of every single colorway, and I'm like, okay. And that was the Vortex, and then with the Menagerie, they sent me 25 Chameleon, 20 Rosy Maple Moth, and then 5 of all the others. Go figure. It's like, could you have not sent me 20 of everyone? But I'm not gonna, you know, complain because it was free. I didn't have to buy it. And then they would always right after they announced the bankruptcy, which ruined the contract that was supposed to take effect in March. Um, they sent me a mess ton of just solids. So I had I think it's actually 25, 27 gallon totes full of Big Twist, and that's not including. That's what they sent me after the bankruptcy announcement, and then that's not including what I had prior, and those are in 18-gallon totes, and there's 12 of those. Yeah, fuzzy. But once Mary Maxim's out of the Mary Maxim and Annie's Attic is out of them, they're out of them because they bought the like liquidation stuff. So once they're gone, they'll be gone off their websites. But I'm not. I never really liked getting the Pound Plus because it always threw my math off when I was doing a project. Because I could always look at, I could tell. I don't know why. I mean, it's not like it's 3.5 skeins in the Pound Plus, but it always just threw me off, and I didn't. I just preferred the regular skeins and the living. Um, I like the rainbow living, and I also let me. I'm reaching down here to grab. Ooh, don't mess with that light, Michael. There's a color. There's another line I have right down here in the huge totes. I have all of the colors here too, but it was discontinued, which kind of resembles something else, but I love the party line, you know, um, which I think is very, very, very similar. Even though it's a four weight, I think it's very similar to uh, the Menagerie. Cheez Its, I am making well, it's a prototype to make sure everything works, but it's a poncho. And one, two, three, four. Okay, but yeah, I'm making a poncho. But I like the party line. And Panda really likes. Well, he does. He just likes Big Twist, but he's getting more and more to where he's starting to like Hirschner's, which is fine. That just means more Big Twist for me, right? I need to order some more Dark Till Big Twist because I am just about out of the Dark Till because I want to make a few more patterns out of the Dark Till Big Twist because I love that colorway. It's a nice. I like the pattern. Like I said, it's a prototype. I'm gonna probably when I work up the real thing and write the pattern for the real thing, I'm gonna be taking this line of stitches out because I'm not really. I don't know. Like on paper when I was sketching this out and the little bit I worked up, I liked it, but the more I keep working, because of the way this stitch is done, it pushes it together, which makes it bumpy, and I'm really not feeling it. I'm really, really not feeling it in this pattern. Probably take it out and put a different stitch in there. Not sure yet. And then I'm going to be doing uh, all the other Christmas stuff now. Once this is all Halloween stuff's done, Christmas stuff that I want to do. Besides, I've got the holiday jamboree blanket, which will be Tunisian in the round. Then there's going to be 3 different types of reusable gift bags, all cotton, of course, so that way the stretch. And then I mess up right there. I need to check something. I think I screwed up. Yep, gotta undo this whole row. That's what I get for talking and not paying attention. But what is it? I'm gonna be doing, what are those things called? Placemats and uh, table runner. And then there's going to be, where is it? Gotta find it. It's here because that's where I put all my prototypes. When I'm messing with stuff, there it is. We're gonna do coasters or what are those things? Pot holders. And these are all just so I can keep my stitch counts, but we'll do that as well for Christmas. I am looking to get some certain type of yarn, which is hard to find, because I want to do a Christmas star tree topper. But that's the color that I want gold glitter, right? I want it gold, and I want the glitter in the yarn, or the tinsel, whatever you want to call it, to be gold as well. And that is kind of hard to find. And it's just hard to find. Okay, but I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys go. I want to thank you all for being here. I'm gonna be up for probably another 24 hours watching the baby girl, waiting for her to cross the bridge and just be with her, keep her company. Don't want her to go alone. Oh no. Oh, that's what I hate about this twisted stitch, because one, it throws you off awkwardly, and then you got to take your hook and pull it and then get in there, like kind of like a reverse or twisted knit stitch really is what this is. And it tightens everything up, and then you got to fight your way in sometimes. But thank you all for being here and keeping me company. Monday's stitch will be the fan stitch, the Tunisian fan stitch. And the reason why I'm putting that out is because the following week, the Tunisian fan stitch and the Tunisian V stitch, which I put out last week, will go together to make a certain thing. So I wanted to put those out separately like that, so that way you can learn each individual stitch before we put them together to learn something else. So thank you again for being here and keeping me company for the past almost 2 hours. And I love you all, and I will see you all later. Have a great day, great weekend, and just keep being yourselves. Love you all. Bye.